Hey there, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations and thanks for joining me. Today, we are going to be working on advent calendars. Now, I happen to have thrifted 2 of these. I mean, how awesome. I thrifted them back long before the summer, but I knew that I was going to want to do some advent calendars with them. And in fact, because I have 2 of them, I am going to do them for my 2 youngest grandchildren. The first step to this process, though, is I want to get them started in painting. And I'm going to start them both off very similarly, but we're going to finish them just a little differently so that one is clearly for my granddaughter and one is clearly for my grandson. And I want to do them early enough that my daughter has time to find the stuff to put in them. So I've cleared it with her beforehand. I'm not giving her a gift that she has to then go and try and find stuff for. She knows they're coming. But to get started, I'm going to paint the drawer fronts and the top of the house. I want them neutral, so I'm going to be using an all-in-one. I just happen to have Dime Box by Melange that I had from a client piece, so I don't have to go and open something else. Using what's already open on the shelf. And you guys know me. I mean, that's a big part of me and what I think is using what you got. So I don't want to have 20 million jars of paint open. I want to use the paints that I have. So all of these, oh, there's a note in this one. I was wondering why it looked pink. What does this say? See more, see mom. See mom for Prezi. Oh, somebody used it. Somebody else used it because it's got the 25 boxes. So somebody had used this as their advent calendar, and instead of a little toy or a chocolate in there, had see mom for present. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so I'm gonna get the front of these and the front lines of everything and the top part all painted in the neutral cream. I'm gonna do that to both of them. I'm gonna paint the outside and, you know, the back. Might as well get the back painted in DIY Marquee because it's kind of in that brick color, and we're gonna make them look like houses. I'm gonna paint the top in the neutral cream as well, just so that it's got some color other than the green on it. And, you know, I'm probably going to need 2 coats on everything. So I'm going to get that done. Another pink card. So I think that they're getting another Prezi from mom. Yeah, they are. Okay, so and another one. Okay, now I feel bad because I don't get a present. I'm gonna get painting, and once the painting part is over, I'll come back. But really, I just want to have a neutral base for the front of this so that what we do next shows up. Now that I've got this painted, so very basic, right? The one thing that I did do was I made sure that I popped all these drawers in, that they all fit the respective holes. I had to move them around a fair bit. And then what I did was I numbered them, because once we start zhuzhing up the front, there's only going to be one specific order for them for the pattern to match. And rather than, I mean, you can play it like a puzzle if you want. Or you can go by the numbers. So I just thought I'd make it easy on folks. Now, what I did want to do, because the sides and the back are just plain red, I'm just putting something on here so that all my drawers didn't fall out on me. what I wanted to do is just kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. And I thought that the best thing would be to use the Portobello stamp. So, you know, we've got some doors and some windows, and just, I get it's the back of the house, but you know, just why not? So, I'm gonna take a door, and I'm just gonna try and lay out my little vignette first. So if I did a window up here, I don't want you, I don't think. I'm gonna do the bigger, fancier window. So if I do this window up here, then I can do the other window here. And then I can do, you know, that little pot there. And what else do we want to do? I think that might be it. I might put a light on either side of the house. And then I pull this off right now. I am going to do some faux bricks. I'm not going to do it everywhere. I'm just going to do it here and there-ish. So let me move that out of the way for now. Stay. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of going, I should have left that sheet under there. All this just lifts out. Okay, sliding. Yikes. Okay. So all I'm going to do is, I've got this inked up, and I am just going to, I'm using the black permanent ink. And because it's a fairly dark surface, you can see that I didn't paint it fully. I'm going to sand it still before I seal it. But I am looking at getting this fairly juiced up. I want to have enough ink that I can at least see it. And what you see me do with one, I'm going to do with the other also. I'm just going to, we're going to be using transfers on the front drawers, and I'm going to use 2 different transfers. So they're going to look pretty much the same so that the kids don't fight over one being better than the other, you know, just in case. Awesome. Okay, perfect. And I'm just stamping this to get most of the rest of the ink off of that for now. And we're gonna get these stamped up. All right, just to give the impression of the bricks without this bricks. Let me just check. Okay, those are more regular bricks, but yeah, let's go with this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of inking it all over. I'm not doing it super even, and I'm not gonna touch down everywhere. So here we're kind of coming out, but I'm only doing some. Right? So that as much as I got ink all over this, I'm not inking the whole thing. Just so that I don't have to do bricks everywhere. It's going to give the impression of the brick without having to do the brick entirely. Does that make sense? Okay, now that I have it standing up, you can kind of see what I meant, right? That we just got a bit of brick here and there. Okay, one more to go. Okay, I've brought you in over top just so you can see what I'm up to here. I am going to, on one of these, I'm going to be using the Fairy Mary Transfer by IOD. And then on the other one, so this is for my granddaughter, and for my grandson, I'm going to be using the Holly Glen. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to find this one. You might still be able to find this one. I still have a couple as of now. What I've done, so this is like tons of pages of all kinds of fairies, and you know, here there's no fairies in these pages, and here there's just some Christmas trees. It's kind of like this old English country garden kind of look to it. When we get to this sheet of these, we're pretty much getting one of these per 2 squares. And so if I look at that, and I'm going, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 12 of those. I'll worry about the long guy afterward. So what I'm going to do is cut these out, the ones that I want, and lay them out so that I know what I'm doing. All right, I've got a rough pattern laid out. What I need to do is start. So I'm going to kind of spread the rest out. I know this has to go over this kind of area. And ideally what I want is, I'm going to take it right to the top of that drawer, but I am perfectly open to it overlapping anywhere else. And then I'm just going to start rubbing. Now, obviously, you know, here I'm going over the drawer and over that little bar to create that continuous picture. And I'll use, you know, a little X-Acto knife or something to be able to work the split there. I've got the thumb hole or the finger hole here that I'll need to bend that down as well. But I'm just kind of applying it as though none of that is even a worry. This is the reason that I kind of did a cream rather than a white. I needed it to be light so that it would show, but there we go. But I needed, you know, those edges to kind of still be in the same sort of color tone. Now we'll go in after and we'll do some aging with this. But our first step is to get all of our transfers on. I think this is going to be cute. So I'm going to do exactly the same with the other 11 of these. All right. This already looks super sweet. Now, we're not finished. So down here, I am going to add just this bottom piece of this little, I was going to say angel, of this little fairy. And then up on the top here, I am going to fill it with elements of this. Okay? So just so you know where all these things are coming from, they're all from the same transfer. And for the other house, I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing, but it's going to be with the little animals. So I'm going to be taking these little guys and filling them in on the drawers, and then I will be kind of filling in the top and the bottom exactly the same way. So when we next get together, I will have these pieces done, but there's still work to go. Look how cute these look. All right, so we're not finished. We're not finished with the fronts yet, but let's put them down. What I want to do is work on the roof line now. So what I do have is this bag of thrift. Oh, so we ripped open. Okay. So I have this big bag of wood shingles, like fish scale style wood shingles. Now, they're not all good. There's a bunch of wrecked ones in there and stuff. But what I thought would be cute is to just put them climbing up the side here. So putting these onto the roof line of both houses, just for a little bit of interest and, you know, just kind of a fun little look. I'm just seeing size-wise. Oh my gosh, it's like perfect. 3 fits perfectly. That's pretty lucky. So I just have my glue gun starting to heat up over here. And it's still not hot enough. But I get big gobs of glue that are just like dried on there. So we're gonna let that get hot. And then I'm going to do shingles going all the way up. And for this, I'm just going to have them kind of hang down a little bit and then overlap. So I'll have to have some half shingles. And I think that'll just be cute, like a cute little cottagey shingle piece. And then once that's done, we'll be able to start kind of finishing it off. So adding some of the finishing touches. We need to seal things, we need to antique some things. So we've still got a bit of a ways to go, but really, it's all fun stuff from here. So I may just put the glue on each one, because now I have to snip. And these cut super easy, so it's not a problem to have to be able to cut a half shingle in there. This is what it's going to look like as it's finished off. So I'll have this side to go and the other one. Now, I get that this was a good find when I was thrifting, but you could take, you know, the tongue depressors that you find, like the larger popsicle stick craft sticks from the dollar store, and you can cut those down and use those quite readily. You could just cut this out from thick cardboard. You're still going to be able to, like cardstock, you're still going to be able to paint that out if you want to. You could just use items that you have, you know, like washers or buttons, or just cut textured pieces of felt, right? And do that up. So again, I'm using what I've got, so you use what you've got. Don't go crazy with the idea that everything has to be the same. I'm just doing this because it's what I have. Now, before I start working on the front, I do want to just get the backing, the red back, etc., all sealed up. So I'm just going to use some clear wax. I am going to do a little bit of aging on this after, but I just want to get this quickly sealed so that when I'm doing the aging on the front, I'm not going to be getting it all over all of this. All right, once I have that done, what I do want to do is just take a, maybe not you, take a smaller paintbrush, and using Dark and Decrepit, I just want to kind of darken out that roof line a little bit. Now, you could take like a dark paint, but I still just want it a little bit translucent. We're painting over that all-in-one paint, but Dark and Decrepit itself is a sealer, so I'm not going to have to worry about sealing it afterward. I just want can see the one side versus the other. I just want to define it a little bit. I'm not necessarily going to do the boxes, but I am going to do all the edging of the roof to just kind of finish that off a little bit. The last part is this isn't sealed. So I do want to, let's get a different wax brush. I do want to seal this, and I do want to age it. So I'm just going to seal it with wax because it's not something that really is going to get daily use. And then I want to take some dark wax, and I just want to kind of darken it out a bit. There we go. So I just have a little bit of the dark wax on my brush, and I'm kind of taking it far. I have some down on my table, and I'm just kind of looking at going around those boxes. I just don't want them to look so pristine, right? And just kind of fitting in with the nature theme a little bit more. So you can see down here, the effect of the dark wax. It's kind of aging it, giving it a little bit of patina versus the pristine up here. If you like this look, then just stay with this look. I want to have it a little bit more aged and a little bit darker, and so that's fitting with the look I'm after. And I'm going to do this to both of them. So I'm going to get this aging done on both sets. It kind of fits in with both, so giving them both a similar look. And then I think I'm done. I don't think I'm doing anything else. The last little piece I decided to do was just to take some dark wax on my stencil brush and just kind of flick it up the edges of those shingles, just to give them a little bit more age, a little bit more definition. You know, once we got the dark wax on the rest of the piece, it started to look a little too pristine. So we're just kind of aging them a little bit. It kind of defines the bottom of those shingles a little bit, and again, just gives them just a little bit more wear. And then we're done. So, I mean, let's face it, guys, you know, with these, I could have elected to take some of the molds with the mushrooms, and we could have built some of that up around the sides and the back and that kind of thing. But you know what? These are for my grandkids. I know my grandkids. They care about the boxes. So it's also, they have a really small house. As these things get stored, the more things that have got built up on it. You know, I was contemplating adding some real sticks and some moss and all that kind of stuff. But again, it's just more things that fall off. The more things that fall off, the more worn it looks, and the faster that they just get trashed, they get tossed. I wanted to keep them as simple as possible so that there's as little as possible that gets worn off and that these see a lot of years of use. I think that they are adorable. I love these transfers. Now, what I did do up here is I used the bottom of that transfer there. So, you know, we'd added kind of, that was that big wreath section from the Fairy Mary, and I just flipped it around and used it in here to fill this out so that both of them have something that is similar enough that they're not jealous of one another, but they're different enough so they know whose is whose. I love these transfers, and this is just kind of a different way of using them. If you're lucky enough to find something like this, terrific. But bear in mind, you could make this yourself. You can certainly just take some cardboard and cut out little fold down fronts and have small little tubes, easily done with, cut half of a toilet paper tube behind each of the little fold down doors. And you could easily be able to make something like this using these on the front. Makes them just super sweet. Let me know what you think of these ones, guys. I recognize that if you don't own this one, you're not getting it probably anywhere. There's maybe a couple little pockets of people that have them still, but man, they were popular. Hope you grabbed one. I'd love to know what you're doing with them. Super adorable for all kinds of gift tags and ornaments, certainly, but advent calendars also. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.